Welcome back to the Crypto Plebs channel. It's your boy Man Crypto. So, guys, I think it's about that time for us to do a deep dive on Parcels. And guys, I'm not the best token analyst on YouTube. I will do my best to represent Parcels as best as I can. So, if there are any Parcel team members that watch this, I hope I do this token justice. Basically, what I am and my group are, we're just people that trade and like to make money off these tokens, but we've been in this token for a while and we have stuck with the community and we're trying to grow with this community. And like I said, it's only natural that we kind of seen the price development since the 4 cents when we bought in, and we want to see it do well, just like everybody else's investments in their portfolios. So just want to get that out there. And guys, I don't work for the team and I'm not paid by them. Like I said, I this is one of my investments that I have, and I just want to see it do good. I see the team. They're been in the market since 2021. They have a pretty good, extensive background. I think a few of the guys are, were in TradFi and even in the chip business. And I think even one of the gentlemen that was one of the co-founders was involved with Microsoft. So they have a nice background. These are the founders right here: Trevor Bacon, Kellen Grenier, and then Jason Lewis. These guys, I've listened to a few of their YouTube videos when they talked about Parcels. Very educated, very smart people, and they have some pretty good backers: Coinbase Ventures, Dragonfly Capital, and Solana Ventures. Pretty much all the big boys that we're looking for to make sure that the funding there is there, and this has the right people in there. Market cap is 42 million with the circulating supply of 48% of the supply out. There is monthly unlocks, I think about 0.9% that hits pretty much in the middle of the month. Look, these token unlocks, guys, Sui has them, Solana has them. I don't think they're as bad as, Parcels isn't as bad as theirs, but 2025 is going to be the year of unlocks. It is what it is. As long as there is a bullish narrative between these tokens, it doesn't necessarily have to mean that it's always a bad thing. There's just little things that you got to be mindful about. I've been in this token for a while, and I know back around. Let's see if we can try to pull it up in this chart real quick. I think when we were down somewhere here back in April, somewhere around here when we were up in this area, they had a massive token unlock. I think it was around this area right here. There was a token unlock somewhere around here, and we went all the way down to 4 cents. I think it was around here in this area. Yeah. So they had a big token unlock, and the price went all the way down to about 4.8. Then they initiated the buyback program, which was very bullish for the project, and you saw that immediate spike back up to almost 15 cents. So almost gave you a 4x from that low. And since then, I think correct me if I'm wrong, I think the team was willing to stake their tokens, and they're currently in talks about that. And look, ever since then, I've just seen a big tide in the change with Parcels, with the price going to the upside. From a chart perspective, we have a lot of resistance up here in this top area around 14, 15 cents. Right now, I want to see us clear this 10-cent mark. I was able to draw this chart out over the weekend. I saw a bull flag. I alerted the Discord to start taking positions down here in this red box. Some of our guys were trading this on Femex. It recently got listed on futures. My group was making a killing. And anytime we hit this 7 cents, maybe even the lower 7 cents, and even maybe lower 6 cents, we are programmed to load the books on this token. And we're definitely going ham. And every time, like I said, we hit this upper areas, we're just watching to see if we're going to respect this line. If we can get back up and use it as support, then we can potentially try to re-challenge this 14 cents and see if we can go higher. I think at the end of the day, if we can get back up to this 35 cents, that would be very, very great for me. Look, could it go back to 70 cents? I don't know. Like I said, I really have high hopes for Parcels. I think the team that's behind this token, they're very intelligent individuals. But look, all this really depends on the RWA sector and how all this really pans out. So, what does Parcels do? So, I think there's two parts of Parcels. There's Parcels and Parcel Labs. And what Parcel Labs is, it provides real time data that updates daily to provide the real time and real prices adjustments of square footage of where you can long and short different cities and even states and even other parts of the world. So, I think a lot of people were kind of concerned about the potential new mayor for New York, and you can actually go on the site. Let's go check it out real quick, guys. Um, you can go on the site and you can see right here, Brooklyn, New York. Right now the sellers market is very bearish, so you could be shorting the market. Again, guys, here it is right here by this square footage right here. I'm not really necessarily sure how this works out. I know a few of my community members were testing it out. I like to just look at the tokenomics and I look at basically the founders and stuff like that. I usually check the white paper and check the actual website to see if there's any spelling errors. Some of these tokens, man, like I said, they're not legit, but this one right here seems very legit. The team is very educated, very simple, plain website, which I like. I think when you start trying to overdo things, it can come off a little sus. But for me, everything looks good here. So like I said, and one of the main reasons why I've been bullish on this project is because I've never seen anything like this. I think being able to short the housing market is such a brilliant idea, and the way that it's kind of came together, and then also being on Solana, one of the most bullish ecosystems in crypto, sounds like it's just a match made in heaven. So, even though I don't use this part of Parcels, I think that if people can catch on to this, and if we can do a good job of getting this out there, and Parcels can do get out there to the masses, I think this token could probably easily maybe hit up to maybe 150 to 200 million market cap. A lot of these Coinbase venture projects, once they meet their max potential, they've always hit this 200 million market cap. So, for me, that would be a dream come true. But at the end of the day, guys, it just really depends on where the market goes. Since this is considered an RWA token, with the real live data and stuff like that that is on this network, it would fall under that category. So, things like Ondo, Chainlink, and Plume, and all these other tokens, if those tokens do good, Parcels definitely would get some of the trickle down from that. So, since it has a lower market cap, I really do think that this has the potential to make a lot of gains this cycle. But it really just depends, guys. Like I said, on the community sentiment. Obviously, we have a real small community, but I do know that there's a lot of other Discord investors that are in this token, but they may not be as bullish as we are. So like I said, long term, we just got to see what is going on. The token unlocks, they seem to be happening on the middle of the month for the next couple of years till 2027, I believe. And like I said, it's just common when you have people that seed investing and angel investors. People want to get paid, so it's quite normal. Like I said, I think that when they had this big dump down, and they were able to buy back, I think that was a real positive sign. So look, I've talked about this many times, with my group. You guys can just log into Coin Market Cap, and there's a new function right here that kind of gives you the breakdown, the TLDR, and you can basically get the rundown on what is kind of the reason of the pump. So I think that in my opinion, the reason of the pump was this big listing with Femex. Femex isn't one of the biggest exchanges in the world, but they do have a lot of big users on there. And the fact that you're able to trade this thing on futures market, this would bring a lot of liquidity to the coin. So My group, we're a group of 100 people. We're mainly trading this token, and like myself, I hold it and I trade on it. So all of the volume and liquidity is also really good for the token. So you know, I think though, at the end of the day, this is definitely something that you guys should keep on your radar. I'm not saying for you to go out there and buy it right now, but just put it on your watch list. These kind of tokens are here. Like I said, they go down 20%. So yeah, if you have some big money in there, you might want to put some stop losses. But like I said, this token has some room to go. So if you're on the sidelines and you guys are looking for an area to pick up parcels, again, you guys should be probably starting to hit some alerts around here at this 7.3. You could maybe even start getting up here in this 7.6 and just DCA down. And if we start hitting down here in the 6.6 zones, load the boats. Like I said, this is crypto. Crypto can go down 20, 30% all day, every day, man. This is a small market cap coin. We go back down here, that's a 30% drop. So, if you are thinking we're going to go down like that, you can short it, but like I said, there's some people that have some pretty big bags in here. So just be careful. And guys, if you're looking to, trade this token, you can use my links below for Femex. Femex is a exchange that I've used for the last year, and never had any issues with it. And it has pretty much every token that I need, from Bonk all the way down to Parcels. So if you guys are looking for a token exchange to roll the dice on, you guys can look into Femex. But all right, guys, I hope that this was somewhat of a subpar review for Parcels. Like I said, guys, I'm not the best, at this kind of stuff, man. I really don't like doing token reviews, but I wanted to do this for the community at least. I'm really bullish on this token, man. I really want to see it do well. I think that this thing can at least get to at least 30 cents. Okay. And if you bought down here at this lower area, hey man, that's a 6x. Okay. So let's see what happens. All right. We'll talk later. Jumpman Crypto out. Make sure you like.